Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, once again coming to you from downtown Manila. And I've got an awesome guest on the show. It's almost like a brother. This gentleman's been doing the same as me for almost the same length of time. So the gentleman's name is Howard, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, Wolpoff, right? And he'll tell me if it's wrong a bit later. Howard's a sales and leadership performance coach. Right, and everyone needs a coach, guys. You can't do it by yourself. You'll get there a lot quicker if you have a coach or a mentor. Believe me. His company name is Southwestern Consulting. He's in the business of sales coaching and business development. Right, he's been 20 plus years in the industry, marketing, branding, business development, and 5+ years in professional coaching, basically teaching people how to do it, guys. Right? It's all in the systems, guys. Just like McDonald's, think of McDonald's, guys. They get 15-year-olds to run $1 billion business throughout the world, and the mother can't get them to clean their bedroom because she hasn't got a system. They have, right? He helps sales professionals and teams from small business to large organizations build confidence, structure their day, improve their performance through personalized coaching. His work focuses on accountability, very important, mindset, more important than the other one, and actionable strategies that drive measurable results. Remember, guys, action gets traction, right? Key achievements. Successfully coached over 200 sales professionals across real estate, insurance, home improvement, financial industries, and more. Former director of marketing and promotions for a professional sports team. Led sales teams at, what's this one? 1010 XL Sports Radio, became flagship station for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Host of the Sales Momentum podcast, focused on practical insights for growing teams and revenue. Personal motto, here it is, guys. Confidence comes from structure and success follows consistency. It's all about, and turn up, guys. It's about turning up. Interesting fact, before becoming a coach, I helped launch a minor league baseball team and a major New York City sports venue, which is pretty awesome. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage today, Mr. Howard. How are you, Howard?
I'm doing well, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
No trouble at all. It's my pleasure. Let's get this show underway. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your career path. Where did it all begin?
Sure. I really fell in love with marketing when I was in college,
Yeah.
and really didn't realize it at the time. And then as I was wrapping up, I said I probably should have made that my major, but I think I can get any type of job when I get
Right.
out, which wasn't the case. But eventually I found my way into sports marketing. I did a lot
Uh-huh.
of volunteer work with the National Hockey League in the United States, the National Basketball Association, and that led me to some really great opportunities with this big sports venue, Chelsea Piers, New York. If anyone's been to New York, should be very familiar with that. Launching the Brooklyn Cyclones minor league baseball team. And I've moved from there, national local radio, ran 2 different marketing advertising agencies, and fell into coaching because I found a need when I was at my last agency, because we'd have people come in with a really great lead generating process and pitch them services. But a lot of these small business owners didn't have, not only didn't they have the funds to invest in this service, actually didn't have created physical budgets. So they didn't know what they didn't know about their dollars. Their dollars were
Yeah.
being, that would have taken the dollars from the light bill, and it showed me an opportunity. And then this past year, I got recruited to be a sales coach with Southwestern Consulting.
Awesome. It's about test and measure. You'd agree, wouldn't you? Test and measure is my mantra, right?
I think
Testing and measuring.
you're always trying to test everything. I actually have a client that I worked with yesterday, and we went old school with trying to get his goal is to get his clients to meet with him. That's what his company needs, and he gets graded on that and by a percentage. And we has a whole bunch that don't have not responded for a couple of years. So
Wow.
we went old school with a postcard with a
Love that.
we took a scene from the movie Jerry Maguire with Tom Cruise saying "Help me, help you" with his hands up, and
Love it.
a lighthearted copy in the back. And so far, he has a 25% response rate on people who hadn't responded in over 2 years.
Old,
So
I say
and that was all by testing it.
old is gold. I would say that one old guy, but old is gold, guys. And there's nothing new, guys. Everything's a rehash. Believe me, read some of those old books, your Dan Kennedys, Ogilvy, all the good
Mhm.
guys from the past, right? Even your Gary V's, pay attention, guys, to the message. The message is there for you. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how have you overcome that?
I think the most challenging aspect is seeing people at different places in their sales career,
Uh-huh.
primarily because they weren't trained how to sell. And that's a
Yeah,
problem with most people. You want to be a doctor, you go to medical school. You want to be a lawyer, you go to law school.
yeah,
You want to be a salesman, you find someone to hire you. They put you at a chair with a phone and some level of CRM or maybe just a notebook, tell you to start making phone calls. Most people have to pick up sales abilities and strategy on their own,
on the run.
whether they're,
Yeah,
they're looking online, whether they're fortunate enough. Like I had a mentor at one of the jobs I had, my first three sales jobs. I had no sales training, and I had to learn along the way. Thankfully, it was very successful. But how much more successful could I have been if they actually trained me? So that's where I'm working with my clients now to give them that training to focus on every aspect of the sales process and the relationship process. But really, it's a lot of it is because that it was a blank slate that they were starting with, and I'm coming in certain points to really rebuild the structure from the ground up.
yeah. I'd give him a book, Tom Hopkins. I'd give anything on Tom Hopkins. That's how I cut my teeth. On Tom Hopkins changed my life overnight. Someone walked in, a book salesman walked into my office one day selling books, and he did the puppy dog technique. He left me the book for a week to read it to see whether I liked it or not. And when he came back, I said, "I'm not giving you the book back."
It's a definitely winning strategy.
Puppy dog technique's bloody awesome. It works really well. We'll have to tell the audience about that one day. Tell us about an important moment in your career that changed your direction. When did that aha moment come?
The aha moment really was when I had the opportunity I went back to business school and I found an opportunity to intern with the Brooklyn Cyclones baseball team. And I learned during that time that you can get people to react in different ways when you do different things. So
Yeah,
if you create crazy ideas, everyone understands minor league baseball. It's a lot of fun. It's really trying to find family fun and drive people into the ballpark, whether they know who the baseball players are or not.
yeah,
And we would do these parody videos, and
love it.
we knew that mark where it either was going to sink or swim. And when we had 10,000 people show up to the games, all laughing and reacting at that moment, you realize how powerful a video is and how powerful marketing is to get to that point to share a message with them. So that really led me
Oh,
to a lot of great opportunity from understanding that from those point on.
yeah. And don't forget, guys, Howard and I, we don't have a business. We have a passion. And once you find your passion, you never work another day in your life, right? It just becomes fun. It becomes second nature. And we're learning all the time. In your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have helped contribute to your success along the way, Howard?
I think the biggest one is my I guess, ability and want to listen. I think listening is a very strong attribute and skill that people have, and not everyone has it as a great skill. A lot of people just want to talk and talk and talk,
Yep.
but not listen. I think hearing what people have to say, watching and understanding their emotions while they're saying it is very important. This allows you to really determine what your next steps are. And when we're working with clients, we give them a disc assessment so we get a sense of not only what their personality is, but it has a whole reporting that we work with them on how to understand what other people's personalities are and how your personality needs to react to that personality so you end up speaking the same language. Because someone who's really energetic and really entertainer
Yep.
focused, outgoing may not be the cup of tea of someone who is a fighter who's okay, just get to the business. I don't want to waste any time. What's the details? And if you're one or the other and trying to sell the other, you need to be able to speak their language or that conversation's over pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love that. We call it in Australia, we used to call it match the hatch. For example, if a bikie came in a Harley, with his Harley, I'm talking bike language. If a lawyer or a doctor comes in, I'm straightening my tie, I'm sitting up straight. It's almost like yes sir, no sir. right? So they call it match the hatch. And it's very important also, Howard, to listen and hear what they don't say. And you know that,
That's true.
what
That's
they
very
don't say.
true.
And guys, if they're not asking questions, they're not interested. So you've got to get them asking questions, right? Because when
A
they
lot
ask
of times when I get a salesperson or a salesperson gets me on the phone, I will answer in certain ways, just kind of test them to see if they're able to pull the information out.
you're
I was on
terrible,
a call. I was called with someone yesterday, and he's working so hard. And I'm like, look, I explained to you at the beginning, and here we are now. You're doing a great job. You're trying to find the pain. You're trying
I love it.
to really you're putting your thumb in that wound, and that's all well and
That's
good.
really funny.
But I'm not at this point. Just I'm not budging from my statement. But I give you credit. I gave him credit personally. He and I definitely were not connecting. He was not trying to figure out how to connect with me. He was a bull in the china shop trying to go forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a guy. I wish I could think of his name. He wrote a book, and it was an awesome book. And it was it was basically how to employ salespeople, right? And he'd run this ad, and the people would ring up. His name is he's dead now. I can't think of his name. God, it's on top of my tongue. Anyway, they'd ring up, and he would say straight away, "Oh, Jeff, you're not suited." And then Jeff would say, "Oh, okay, I guess you know. I'm sorry to waste your time. Bye." And then he'd say that to a few people, and all the candidates would be dropping off one by one by one, right? And then someone like you would come along and he'd say, Howard, um, I don't think you're suited. And you'd come back and say, I don't think you're fucking listening. Right? And he'd go, come on in, Howard. You're the guy I want. you know?
I had a client and he had a next door neighbor, two businesses right next to each other. And the next door neighbor had a sign that clearly said no solicitors. He didn't want anyone coming in to sell
Yeah.
him. And then I walked in and we started to have a conversation. And I'm like, I gotta ask, you've allowed this conversation to happen. What's the sign for then? He goes, well, that's to scare people off. I want to see if anyone has the balls to come into my business to actually have this conversation with me. You obviously did. That's why we're talking.
Yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, that's awesome stuff. Tell me, how do you're obviously self motivated, but how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's the secret?
I think the secret is really wanting people to succeed.
Yes, win-win.
There's no limit to what people can do and no limit for me being able to help them get to what their point B is that they're trying to reach. And it's always going to feed me. I love the excitement of seeing yesterday we had 5 coaching clients. So it's a very busy day, but just seeing very different levels of success and achievement since we started was really rewarding yesterday. And I know there's more that they can do. So it's not that things are still ongoing.
Is that group coaching, Howard, or was that one on one?
These are one-on-one. All the coaching I do for sales coaching is one-on-one.
Yeah, I do both. I do one on one and group. I like group sometimes because sometimes the group, someone asks a question because someone might be shy or quiet. Someone asks a question, it opens up the room, and sometimes they answer their own question, which is awesome.
Yep.
So I like both, right? You get a bit of fun with groups. Tell me about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of amongst the many things you've done. Tell me one you're particularly proud of.
A recent one I would say is it's a good question. A lot of past ones are coming up with
Correct.
me at the moment. But recently, I think it's working with this one client that I mentioned before. It's what I like about the work with him is he's actually the oldest client I have. So he would be the even though he's been open to coaching, he'd be the one to say, okay, maybe he's not ready to make any changes, at least when we started the conversations, but he's the most open to make changes. So we really are working on so many different ways. We've changed how he and how his staff speaks to people on the phone. We've scripted different types of lighthearted scripts because he's in finance, which
Love,
can be
yeah,
very
love
boring
you
and
do,
very
yeah.
scary. And then trying to find these different ways to get people to respond who haven't responded before, and we're seeing success in that, and that really has been rewarding because the thing I like the most about it is while I'm working in a sales mode, I got to put my marketing hat on a little bit that I kind of put to the side being a
Always,
sales coach. But I like
always.
getting a chance to put that on every once in a while.
Yeah. And guys, you'll never get a 10 out of 10. You've got to know your number. And I can double, guys out there, I can double your business. For example, if you convert 1 in 10, I can double your business overnight. Because what I'll do, I'll either get you double the leads, which means you'll get 2 in 20, or I'll teach you how to improve so you get 2 in 10. In time, we'll get 3 in 10. You'll never get 10 out of 10, guys. Because a lot of people are not your avatar, as Howard will tell you. However, we can all improve. It's all about knowing your numbers. You must know those numbers. Tell me, what advice would you give your 18-year-old son, a younger version of you? What advice would you give him?
To learn how to sell immediately, because
Absolutely.
everything
Read
you
Tom
do
Hopkins.
is selling, whether you are
Absolutely.
in any business you have. Like, oh, I'm going to be a dentist. That's great. You're going to work with teeth. That's fine. How are you going to get your clients? You have to actually market and sell and sell them every time they come in with an experience that, especially with the dentists can be scary, dentists can be painful, but if you really make it a great experience, they'll keep coming back for their checkups and then some. So being able to, so I have two sons right now. One's a freshman in college and one's a junior in
Lovely.
high school. At some points, within the next few years, I will work with them on teaching them how to sell, because that will solve a lot of problems and open a lot of doors for them early on.
Yeah. How old are they, Howard?
Yeah, 19 and 17, and I have a 14-year-old
Okay.
daughter.
Interesting about your two boys. Are they reading books?
Uh, yes, they've both been very good readers over their
Oh,
lifetime.
that's the start. That's the start, guys. Everything's in the books. It's all been written for you, guys. Get those books. If you've got a subject, read up on the subject. Someone's already done it before you. I've got to tell you a good dentist story. Someone rang me about 12 months ago and said, Jeff, I heard you're fantastic and blah, blah, blah. I need your services. I want 10 of your people. Interesting, 10, yeah. Why? I want to ring every dentist in America.
Okay.
I said, really? Okay. I said, I can't help you. He said, what? A couple of other guys said they can help me. I said, well, I'll tell you what, after you fail, and you will fail, come back to me and I'll show you the right way to do it. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, imagine you're ring the dentist. He's in his uniform. He's got his gloves on. He's got his mouse down someone's throat with a toothbrush or some instrument. Ring, 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 ring. Oh, hang on a minute. Just 1 second. Drops the instrument, takes off his gloves, right, walks over to the phone. Hello, this is a sales call. How happy is he going to be? That's not the way to get that guy. There's other ways. You and I both know the ways. And same as you wouldn't go and see a head chef at a restaurant at lunchtime or dinner time. He's not going to talk to you. You're wasting your time. And you go, oh, I failed. Of course you failed. You didn't think it through, etc., etc. We could go on. We could tell him 1,000 ways how not to do it. Quick buy story, Howard. When I was about 40, I've always made good money. When I was about 40, I'm starting to think about a coach. I'm thinking, why would I need a coach? My ego, I know everything. Then I said, well, Tiger Woods has got a coach. John McEnroe's got a coach. Why is that? I started racking my brain. I said, oh, yeah, I get it. Maybe they can improve a bit more and make more money. So I'll get a coach. This is a true story, guys. I hired 4 coaches, right, over about a 3-month period. 3 of them, within 1 month, they were paying me to coach them. They never had a bloody clue, right? And the 4th one had a really bad bedside manner. And because of my ego, we butted heads very often. I paid him 20 grand. And I learned one thing, and I learned it about 5 years after he left, and I've applied it ever since. It's this: you don't know what you don't know. My ego got in the way, right?
Yep.
Then I realized later, hey, he's right. I don't know. I've got to find that out. So you understand all this, don't you, Howard?
That's a mantra I say over and over all the time.
Yeah, well, it's my favorite mantra too. And I'm learning every day now that ChatGPT's come along. God Almighty, hasn't opened up Pandora's box.
ChatGPT knows that helps figure out a lot of things.
Absolutely. Anyway, looking ahead, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? Obviously, keep doing more. You're obviously passionate about what you do. What's your goals and aspirations?
It's funny because I had a conversation with an old friend who works in minor league baseball, and I have a relationship there's a team here in Jacksonville, Florida, and I have a relationship with that owner. And I told him, you ruined my dream. He bought the team about 6 years ago. He's done a fantastic job. About a year and you ruined my dream. What are you talking about? I said, my dream was to win the lottery, so I have enough money to buy a baseball team and buy the team and run it the rest of my life. And so
Yeah.
it was a good laugh. It was a nice bonding moment for us, and we've been friends ever since. But
Yeah.
but for me, really, it's I enjoy coaching. So I really enjoy seeing the success of people learn how to sell and get the accolades, as we call them here, attaboys from their boss when they when they hit big numbers and they make these big sales and really change their life in many different ways. That's why when we book a new client, we call it we changed a life, because we know what this is going to do to their life, not just for themselves and for their employers, but for their families and as well, and how their outlook on life will be and how it will be better in the home as well.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I call it win-win. When our clients win, we win. It's really simple. It's not about the money, guys. It's about the passion. And it comes across. If you help enough people, they'll give you what you want too. So everybody wins, right? And Howard will tell you, and reach out to Howard. Have a cup of coffee with him. It's not going to. A cup of coffee costs you nothing. Howard could potentially double your business. And I'll put one proviso there, guys. He can double your business if you listen and do the work. He can't do it. He cannot run your business for you. He can help you. I get angry with my clients. I go, Fred, I'm going to come over to America. I'm going to take over your business. And the first thing I'm going to do is sack you. I won't need you. I'll just take all the money for myself. What do I need you for? I said, I'm here, Fred, to help you run your business, not run it for you.
Yep. That's true. Very true.
You're probably a bit softer than me, but I get angry sometimes because they're not doing the work. And
I was coaching small business owners, so I definitely understand what you're talking about in the past.
And I get frustrated because I think you're blaming me. I feel guilty. I've taken your money and you're not progressing. I want to see you grow. That's why I took your money, right? And if they don't invest, they won't do anything at all. You know that.
Exactly.
Here we go. We're about to wrap it up. Tell our listeners and people watching our podcast and finding out some about your amazing services, what's the best way to reach out and get a handle on what you do and how you can help them?
Best ways is to reach me on LinkedIn, because there's buttons and links on there to get on my calendar and have conversations with me. And so Howard, and last name is Wolp, P as in Peter, O, F as in Frank, F as in Frank. Or you can hit up my website, which is Howard Wolpoff, SWC.com, Southwestern Consulting, SWC.
All right. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know. We know you're a baseball nut. What else don't we know?
I sang on a choir album when I was in fourth grade. So I have a solo on a choir album way back when records were the thing.
Yeah.
And I was actually also a contestant. Anyone who's familiar with the 80s and 90s in the United States and MTV having a game remote control. When I was in college, I was a contestant on that game. Did not win, but it definitely made for a lot of memories.
Awesome. We must be kindred spirits. When I was 14, I won a scholarship for singing. And then I won another one 3 years later. So when I was a young boy, I was a great singer. I was supposed to be the next big thing, but sport got in the way. I love sport more than singing.
I get it.
Yeah, we're about to wrap it up, but Howard, you've been an awesome guest. And guys, if you want to come on and get 15 minutes of fame, just like our guest Howard has, reach out. Think about it, guys. A TV commercial is going to set you back $30,000 probably in your area, maybe more. And what they might do, they might go to the loo, make a hamburger, or go and grab a drink while the commercial's on. If you book 10 radio spots in your city, that's fine too. That might cost you between $3 and $5 grand. And what happens? They play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. Right? But come on, 15 minutes to fame, guys, and we'll make you famous. We'll put you across all the social media platforms and potentially put you in front of thousands of people. Think LinkedIn, Quora, Reddit, Facebook groups, and more importantly, this will go on YouTube with all your social media links below and the chance to make you famous. So there's the offer for you guys. Do what Howard's done. Reach out. Let's make you famous. Once again, Howard, love to thank you for being on the show today. You've been an awesome guest, my friend. So thank you very much.
Very much. My pleasure. I really enjoyed it, Jeff.